Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm Marcus from InfoSec Governance, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how you can protect your business through using cybersecurity. Now first up is antivirus. This is always a bit of a controversial one depending upon who you are and who you speak with, but I always recommend that you install antivirus software on your computer, make sure it's all licensed and it's across all devices that you can have. Now when it comes to what type of antivirus you have, how long's a piece of string and everything else. If you're running Windows systems, Windows Defender is just as good as anything else. But personally, I'd prefer something that you can centrally manage across all systems. Something that's maybe got a cloud portal or something like that, and you can manage all your machines from one bit. With Windows Defender, you're pretty much stuck with managing on each individual machines. So if you look at a system that actually locks and manages all your systems all in one place, then that's great. Now with antivirus as well, that can also help you protect against ransomware and malware attacks. So it's always good just to have a couple of layers of defense within your environment. Now number 2 is implementing appropriate email security. If you don't have any email security in place, you're opening yourself up to phishing attacks, malicious emails or anything like that coming into your environment. By actually adding that extra layer of protection into your system at the border before you actually get into your environment and actually receive those emails, you can actually give yourself a bit more security, reducing the threat of anything getting in, making sure that customers or your staff don't actually go and click on things, open up a link and it goes off and downloads something malicious. Okay, number 3, next up is web security. Web security can help you protect your users from accidentally clicking on malicious links or visiting malicious websites. Now this kind of goes hand in hand with the email one that we just discussed. But pretty much with the web one, you could have some kind of system in place that actually monitors and filters any malicious content that you actually browse. So if a member of staff clicks on a link or tries to visit a website that is deemed inappropriate for your business or is being known to be malicious or contains something like that, something that's not good for you, then you can actually get blocked, you can get warned or anything like that. And it just helps you actually protect your environment by not actually visiting malicious websites. Now most of the time it's actually easier to actually deploy email and web security as part of the same package if you can get it. Sometimes they can be independent through your email solution, but sometimes it's easier just to deploy and manage everything all in one go. So if you can put your email and your web package in one place, then it just makes it easier for you for purchasing, for renewing, for supporting and everything else. Okay, number 4, password management. Obviously make sure that all your users are using secure complex passwords. Minimum password of 8 characters or more, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, throw everything in it. Now ideally I prefer using password managers, so you've got a dedicated password for every single site and every single system that you use. Which obviously can go up to hundreds of different passwords. But if you use a password manager such as LastPass, 1Passwords, KeyPass, all those sort of things, there's hundreds around. Have a look at it to see what's the best one for yourself. But if you use a password manager, you can ensure that you've got a nice complicated secure password that you can use against all systems. So if that password ever gets compromised for whatever reason, it's only that site that's going to be compromised. You're not going to be using that same password reused across multiple different areas, multiple different systems, and then open up a massive can of worms. Okay, and number 5, two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication should be used where it's available. Obviously it's not supported everywhere, but it also helps add that extra layer of security and gives you a bit more safety for your accounts. For example, if someone manages to guess or grab your username and password in a service or some kind of website, having that extra layer of security for your two-factor authentication will actually stop them getting a foothold into it. So yes, they might know your credentials to log into it, but without that additional prompt and that additional authentication actually letting them in, they can't get anywhere. So what you might notice is someone's trying to get into your account, you'd get a message popping up on your phone and saying, someone has requested access to this, what is your code or what is your authentication token to log in. Obviously if you get that, then change your details as soon as possible. Number 6, software patching. All I've got to say is patch, patch, patch and patch again. Make sure that everything is kept up to date, not only your operating systems, but also make sure that your third-party applications, your firmware, your drivers, everything is up to date. How many businesses patch and keep up to date their switches, their routers, their firewalls, even their printers. When was the last time you double checked everything was kept up to date? Yes, you might think it's not very secure. It's not required to be patched or anything like that. But just make sure everything's patched, kept up to date. It's not only for security vulnerabilities, things like that, but sometimes you get new features and bug fixes and stuff like that. So it can just make it a lot easier. And obviously, if you're patching, you're reducing that threat and that security stance that someone might actually get in for whatever means. Okay, number 7, physical security. When you talk about cybersecurity, a lot of people think it's all about computers, devices, mobile phones. But what about your physical security? What about, how are your servers kept secure? Is the office kept secure? What happens when everyone leaves the office? Yes, it doesn't really matter too much at the moment because everyone's in lockdown here in the UK. But what about, working from home with your computers? If you're working from home and you've got an office laptop, is it locked when you leave away from it? Do you keep the laptop in a secure area? How do you do all that? How do you manage that? Number 8 is encryption. Ensuring that you've got full disk encryption enabled on all your devices is great, especially if you've got mobile phones or laptops. If you're taking your business data outside of the main corporate environment and you've got it anywhere in the public environment, ensuring that you've got encryption in place is paramount. Windows comes with full disk encryption, Mac comes with encryption, mobile phones come with encryption, so there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't actually be enabling it and turning it on. These days, it doesn't really slow down your machine like it used to in the olden days. Devices are quick enough to actually encrypt your information and keep everything nice and secure. The last thing you want to do is get your laptop nicked or get your phone stolen, anything like that. If it is, then 9 times out of 10 that your information is going to be kept nice and secure. Potentially it could be very unlucky where your device is kept unlocked, it's been stolen, and they've actually managed to get into it. Then that's another issue. But 9 times out of 10, if you've got your device locked, it's encrypted, you're not going to get that information back unless you know the actual keys to get into it and things like that. Okay, and number 9 is staff training. This one, in my eyes, is an important one. Ensuring that your staff are kept trained, kept up to date, you've got that knowledge and awareness being built up. Yes, you could do training just for how to use the business, what their job is and things like that, but what about actually identifying security risks? Do people understand or know how to actually identify a malicious link? Do they know what to look out for phishing attacks within emails? Do they know that if you hover your mouse over a URL within an email or a web page or anything like that, it can actually show what the proper link is and things. Getting people trained up and making sure they're aware of actually how to spot potentially fraudulent emails or malicious emails or dodgy websites. Just make sure they're all trained in how to do that, and making sure that people know how to save the files in the right places. So for example, making sure that they're actually saved on the file server if you've got them, or on the cloud environment, not just locally on the machine, which may not get backed up. And then if that machine gets broken, stolen or anything like that, then they've lost all that information. Okay, and the last one, number 10, is when was the last time you actually backed up? As we just said, back up and everything else. If you don't back up, if you don't check your backups, then you're opening yourself to a world of hurt. Yes, a lot of people can back stuff up, but have you actually verified that everything that you use, everything that you save is actually backed up? When was the last time you did know it and double check that everything within your business is getting kept up to date and backed up? And then, once you've backed it up, when was the last time you actually tested a restore? Was it a year ago? Was it 2 years ago? Have you never done it? How do you know that when it comes to that time where you actually need to recover and restore something, it'll work? You should really be trying, recovery tests every month at least. And then you've got that peace of mind and that knowledge that if something does break or someone does delete something, you can go to that email, you can recover it, and it's going to work just like that. And those are my 10 top tips for cybersecurity within your business. I hope you enjoyed this email. I hope you enjoyed this video. And go from there. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to start listening to more videos about cybersecurity in your business, cyber essentials, information security, anything like that. And I'll look forward to the next one, probably next week. Thanks.